Welcome to the Self-Growth Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Marie, a courage coach, creative soul, and adventure seeker. Since through hiking the Pacific Crest Trail in 2019, I'm on a mission to help you embrace your most confident self so you can achieve your dreams too. If you're eager for deep conversations, big questions, and meaningful connections, join me on the quest to discovering how we can create a more magical and memorable life. Hello nerds, how are you? I don't know if I've told you that before, but it is funny that I start every episode with how are you? Because you can't really answer, right? But I hope you're kind of answering in your heart. My partner, when I had a coffee truck, used to laugh at me with love because I asked all the customers, "How are you?" with such care in my voice, and most people just went, "Oh, not bad, not bad." But I really wanted to know the real answer, and it was unusual for many people. So I'm gonna keep doing it, even though it's a one-way relationship that we have. I don't feel like it is. Kind of is, but I don't feel like it is. Like, we're friends. Come talk to me. I want to know you. Anyway, okay, so today I got sidetracked. Today we're talking about being selfish. The worst sin of all, according to some people. I think it's important to talk about this because most people that follow me and that work with me love the outdoors. You're adventurous souls. And many of you feel stuck between your obligations and your desire for freedom and adventure. And adventure is often considered selfish. I mean, doing a thru hike, pretty selfish. Climbing a mountain just for the sake of it. Free solo. Alex Arnold climbing without a rope. People say it's selfish. Selfishness has a pretty bad reputation, and I want to change that. Okay, I'm going to explain first what I mean by selfishness, and then tell you why I think you should be more selfish more often. Okay? Bear with me and listen carefully before you say you don't agree. So one of my followers on Instagram DM'd me and he was talking about high quality selflessness, and I thought, oh my god, this is the perfect way to talk about this. There's high quality selfishness and low quality selfishness. And then there's high quality selflessness and low quality selflessness. I'm going to give you a bunch of examples for both, for all of them. But what we want to aim for is high quality selfishness and high quality selflessness. And avoid all the low quality shit. Okay? Examples. High quality selfishness. Deciding to go on a thru hike. That's going to be different for everyone, but bear with me, you're going to understand. Low quality selflessness. Staying home with my partner because I'm afraid they might leave me otherwise. It's all about the reason. Why are you deciding to go on a thru hike? Because I want to expand. Because I want to see the world. Because I want to grow in confidence. Why are you deciding to stay home to your partner? Because I'm afraid. Because that's what I should do. Do you see the difference? What's your reason? Is it expansive or contracting? What feels most honoring of the person that you want to be? I'm going to give you other examples. I met a woman who was telling me about how 3 years ago, her sons left home, and this was the most difficult time in her life. Her adult sons left home and she fell into a pit of sadness because she had devoted so much of herself to them. She'd been a stay-at-home mom. She'd loved those years. And now she felt like they had left with a part of herself. She felt empty. And all she wanted to do was call them every day and be sad. And ask them all about their lives and be in their lives all the time. She told me, I'm really lucky. I had a therapist who warned me not to do that. My therapist said, find something that's going to light you up other than your sons. Otherwise, they're going to see your name on the phone and they're not going to want to pick up because they're going to feel guilty. Because they're not going to enjoy their conversations with you and their time with you. So find yourself something new to pursue. And low quality selfishness there would have been to call them crying and say, I miss you, I wish you were still here, and to indulge in those emotions. High quality selflessness is, okay, I want my sons to lead their lives. They're grown-ups now. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm a grown woman. I'm going to take care of my own emotions. It's not their job. See? The reason, expensive versus contracting. What's your reason for calling them every day, feeling sad? Oh, I want validation. I want reassurance. I don't know. What's your reason for deciding, no, look, I'm going to take care of myself. I want a good relationship with my sons. What feels expensive versus what feels contracting? What feels loving versus what feels diminishing? I encourage you to be selfish whenever it means embracing who you are and stepping into your power and owning what you need more deeply. Why? Because that is going to raise your vibration. And if everyone did that, it would raise the vibrations in the whole world. And that would make such a big difference in how we lead our lives. Another reason for being selfish, when it means embracing who you are at your core, is because it shows others how to embrace who they are, gives others the permission to do so as well. We've learned to be good students, to be good citizens, to follow the rules, to stay in line. But that's not who we are. I'm sure I could pull a million quotes from the book Untamed by Glennon Doyle, which is amazing if you're a people pleaser. Read that. You are not made to fall in line. You are untamed. You are wild. We want to love, experience, we want to fail, we want to run, we want to jump, we want to move, we want to dance. That's what we are born to do. Think about children before they are tamed. They're so free and joyous, like joy is their natural state of being. And they struggle too. I mean, when they're learning how to walk, they fall and they cry and they get bruises all over their legs, but they laugh about it, they get up again, they question the rules, they are curious, they dance, they don't care about what others think. And I believe it's possible to tap into some of that as adults, to still manage to pay our bills, live in society, but be a little more free. Be a little more like ourselves. And I know it can be scary because sometimes when you make decisions for yourself, you're afraid that you might lose people. For example, when I decided to hike the PCT, I knew full well that it might mean my relationship was going to end. Or at least that's definitely one of the fears that I had. I thought, I'm leaving for such a long period of time. Maybe he's going to walk away. Now, looking back on that, I see how ridiculous that was. But that was a deep fear of mine. But remember that whenever you make a decision for yourself, that's honoring of who you want to be, that brings you into more complete alignment. People have a choice. They can decide to go away or to stay with you and get to know who you really are. Eventually, I changed my thoughts about Ollie and the PCT. I figured, you know what? If he breaks up with me, it's his loss because I'm freaking amazing and I'm going to be even more of a badass when I come back from the PCT. Who wouldn't want to be with me then? And I know it takes a lot of confidence to think this way, but it's a muscle you can strengthen. It takes courage to say, look, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what lights me up. I trust that you want what's best for me. So I'm going to go in that direction. And you get to decide if you come with me. You get to decide if you stick around. But I'm becoming more of me. So if you're not on board with that, I'm sorry to see you go. Sending you off with love. Someone I know was telling me about how his partner didn't want to do outdoor activities. And he made friends with whom he could do outdoor activities, but it ended up all being women. And his partner said, I don't want you to go out with them, go camping and cycle and climb with them because they're women and I feel jealous, feel threatened. And he was hesitant and thinking, oh, maybe I should respect her in that, but I just really want to go camping and cycling and do all of those things. And he ended up telling her, you know what? I love you. There is nothing to be afraid of. This is important to me. I'm going to go. You're welcomed to join. You can also stay home, but this is me. And if you lose people for stepping into yourself, then that can be sad, but it's for the best. Staying home with her so she didn't feel insecure would have been low quality selflessness. Okay? Feels contracting instead of expansive. And going out to do the activities with the other women was high quality selfishness. In my opinion, you're allowed to have your own opinion, but that's the way I think, that's the way I lead my lives. Of course, we don't know everyone's stories. Everyone's stories is different, but from my outside perspective, this is how I interpret the situation. What also happens sometimes when you allow yourself to be selfish for a while is that afterwards, you can be so much more selfless. Sometimes you have to serve yourself first before you can serve others. In Brave and Bold, I help my clients craft their purpose statement. How I define purpose? Your purpose is how being the fullest expression of you can have an impact on the world. So I help them figure that out and then turn it into one sentence that encapsulates the essence of what they are here to do. How just being themselves have a huge ripple effect around them. Sometimes their purpose statement is going to be externally focused. Like mine. Mine is I want to help people step into their more courageous self so that we can live in a more liberated world. But then other times they tell me I struggle to find a purpose that's focused towards others, that's in service of others. I just want to pursue my dream for my sake. But I feel guilty because I should want to help others, right? And I tell them, not necessarily. Let's say Michael Jordan's purpose statement was, I want to become the best basketball player in the world. That seems selfish, right? But that doesn't mean it doesn't have an impact. It might inspire millions of kids to reach for their dreams, might teach them perseverance. And so many artists create art for themselves only. They write books because they enjoy writing books. They play music because they enjoy playing music. And they don't know when they're doing it, but at the end of the day, this song or this painting or this book might save someone's lives. So your occupation, what you're doing, if it seems selfish, it doesn't mean it doesn't have an impact. Before through hiking the PCT, I was focused on overcoming my fears and becoming my most courageous self. This seemed selfish, although I know that the simple act of watching me give myself that permission helped hundreds of people also free themselves, without it being my intention at all. My pursuit at first was completely selfish, and that's fine. That's fine in itself. But after I came home, my fuel changed. It became completely different. I now wanted to help others do what I'd done. I wanted to help others become their bravest and boldest self because I'd experienced what it felt like and I wanted to share that with others. Now, the biggest critic when it comes to selfishness is that many people seem to think it makes you turn into a monster. If everyone was to do whatever they wanted to do, what would come of the world? Chaos. But I believe that's not what would happen at all. Instead of chaos, I think there would be much more love. I would argue that embracing your full self fills you up with so much more love for yourself and so much more love for others. You have to help yourself before you can help others. When your reservoir is full, then you can have higher quality selflessness. That idea doesn't come from me. It comes from Sam, hello Sam, who said that to me on Instagram. When I've showered and I've washed my face and I went for a walk, I'm so much more present with my clients. And it's the same with you, with your coworkers, with your kids. When you've taken time for yourself, when you've given yourself that permission, then there's no resentment. Then you're at peace. You're at peace with yourself. And you're more present with the people that you love. People tell me, but I shouldn't need so much rest. I shouldn't need so much me time. It's annoying. And that makes me laugh. That resistance is not going to help. Just accept maybe you do need that much rest. Maybe you do need that much me time. Try it. Try it and see what happens. Also, if you do put yourself first and are a little more selfish, then you're not going to make a big deal about small things. You're not going to try to regain the control that you don't have in important parts of your life by trying to control small petty things. Like, well, if I cannot hike the PCT and I have to stay home with you, then we are watching my shows on TV tonight. It's a silly example, but do you see what I mean? When I lived in London, I missed my family so much. And I remember we would spend time with my partner's brother and his partner every Thursday. And I remember to get annoyed at the pettiest of things, thinking, I don't like him. Why do we always do that? And that was just because I was not honoring my needs. I was not honoring the fact that I just missed my family and I needed to spend time with them. I was trying to be selfless, but it was low quality selflessness. I'm going to give you one last example before we go. I have a lot of ambition, right? I want to be hugely successful. I want to make money. And I used to be so ashamed about that. And I used to think I need to be more humble. So I pushed down my desire for more, kept it quiet, actually. I talked about it with people that I knew were also big dreamers and very driven and ambitious people. And I kept that part of me hidden when I was with others. But that's when I hated myself the most. When I judged others the most. When I looked down at my own feet the most. But whenever I allow myself to own my ambition, to talk about my big dreams, to talk about money, and to be okay about wanting more and not making it mean anything awful about myself, when I let my fire burn big and bright, when I let myself say, I want to be important, I want to achieve big things, I want to travel the world, that's when I feel most like myself. And that's when I am full of love for others. That's when I'm most generous. So if wanting to be successful and wanting to make money is selfish and superficial, then I'm fine with being all of those things. Because when I allow myself to be all of those things, that's when I'm most present, most kind, most open, most caring, most free. So, if you were to be selfish, what would you do? And one sign that you need to think more about yourself, put yourself first more often, is frustration. Frustration is the emotion that rises up when you're letting someone else or some belief lead your life instead of you making your own decisions. Go listen to that episode about frustration. Okay? Frustration is a sign that you're not being selfish enough. So, journal about that this week. What would you do if you stepped into your power and decided it was okay to be selfish? In what ways are you being low quality selfless right now? How can you be more high quality selfish so that you can become high quality selfless? Think about that. And if you want to work on your selfish dreams, then join Brave and Bold. Brave and Bold is my 6-month coaching program where we are going to get really clear on what your purpose is and develop a vision for your life that is exciting and feels true to you and to the adventurer that you are deep inside your soul, so that you love your life as a whole, not just your weekends and your holidays. All right, that's it for this week. I'm going to talk to you next week. Bye. You just listened to the Self-Growth Nerds podcast. Make sure to subscribe and to find me on Instagram at Self-Growth Nerds. If you want individual help developing the confidence to create a more meaningful and exciting life, visit selfgrowthnerds.com today to learn how. Finally, I want to thank my friend Etienne Galano for editing this, and I want to thank you, kind-hearted souls, for growing into your truest, most courageous selves every day and making this world a better, more beautiful place. My name is Marie, and I will talk to you next week.